This video was made possible by Good Better Best Tuition Services. Please subscribe to this channel for the latest updates. Today we are going to be doing our second lesson on the Theorem of Pythagoras, where we have two or more triangles. So to recap, the Theorem of Pythagoras states that AC squared is equal to AB squared plus BC squared, or the square on the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the square on the other two sides. Please refer back to the first video on Pythagoras for when we are dealing with one triangle. However, what we are going to be doing in this video is dealing with two triangles or more. So let's look at our laws, skills, and strategies for these two triangles on our left. For laws, we need to know our Theorem of Pythagoras. The skill set that we need to also know how to do equations, and then strategies. In these two triangles, we are going to look for the triangle with the most information and solve that triangle first. So if you look at these, if you look at triangle ABC and you look at triangle ACD, which triangle has more information? This triangle or that triangle? Can you tell me? What do I mean by the most information? I mean the most given sides. So we've got 1, 2 given sides here, but we only have one given side here. So that tells us that we are going to solve for triangle ABC first. Let's do that. Before I do that, I also wanted to remind you to remember that Pythagoras only applies to right-angled triangles. So back to triangle ABC. What are we given? We are given the hypotenuse, and we need to find one of the sides. We need to find AC. Why are we doing that? We are doing that to solve for triangle ABC. How are we going to set that out? Let's have a look. So we are going to say that AC squared is equal to AB squared minus BC squared. Why are we doing that? Because we know that when we are given the hypotenuse, we need to subtract to find the other side. So let's fill in our relevant values. So we can go ahead and say that 10 squared minus 6 squared is equal to 100 minus 36, which is equal to 64. However, we don't want AC squared. We want AC. And so what do we need to do? We need to square root both sides. Let's do that. We will then find that AC is equal to 8. But have we answered the question? Well, not yet, because they've asked us to find X, and we haven't yet found that side AD. So now that we have this value, we can have a look in triangle ACD and see now that we've got two values. And we can use these two values to solve for X. So let's do that. So now we can go ahead and say that AD squared is equal to AC squared plus CD squared, and we can fill in those values. So that will be 8 squared plus 10 squared, which will be equal to 64 plus 100, which will give us 164. Now we must remember that we need to square root both sides. Now 164 is not a perfect square. So if your teacher is happy for you to leave your answer in surd form, then this is what surd form looks like. However, if your teacher would like for you to continue and give your answer in decimal form, you would have to write it out like this. So your answer then would be 12,81. Let's look at another example in which there are three triangles. So let's have a look at this example. We've got triangle ABC, triangle BCD, and triangle BDE. Now, you'll see that, like we discussed in the previous section, we need to look for the triangle with the most information. So if we look at this, we've got two given values, that one and that one. In this triangle, we have no given values. And in this triangle, we have two given values. So we can work from this triangle and we can work from this triangle. Let's start with triangle ABC. and solve for BC. So in triangle ABC, we will have B squared is equal to A squared, AC squared minus AB squared. So I know you're going to ask me, why are we subtracting? Well, it's because we are given the hypotenuse. That is the hypotenuse. How do you identify the hypotenuse? If you look at your right angle and you look at that point, where's that pointing towards? It's pointing towards AC, and that helps you identify your hypotenuse. So that will give us 35 squared minus 21 squared, which is equal to 1,225 minus 441, which will give us 784. However, we don't want BC squared. We want BC. What does that mean? We need to square root both sides, and that will give us BC is equal to 28 millimeters, and therefore X is equal to 28 millimeters. Let's continue. We found X, but can we find Y and can we find Z? No, we can't, because if we look at triangle BCD, we still have two unknowns. However, we can solve triangle BED by finding BD. So let's do that. So let's look at triangle BED. We have BD squared, which will be equal to BE squared minus DE squared. Again, we are subtracting because we already have the hypotenuse. So that will be 1,600 minus 576. That will give me 1,024, the square root of which is 32. So now we have solved for Y. Now that we have solved for X and Y, we can finally solve for Z. How are we going to do that? We are going to say BD squared minus BC squared is equal to CD squared. That will give us 32 squared minus 28 squared, which will give us 1,024 minus 784. So DC squared will be equal to 240, and DC will be equal to 15,49 millimeters. Therefore, Z is equal to 15,49 millimeters. Thank you so much for watching with us. We hope to see you again soon. If you need extra classes, we offer classes in maths, accounting, physics, English, and Afrikaans. Please feel free to contact me on the number given on the screen. Keep well.